Hello friends, and welcome to Winner's Edge Analysis of UPHESC Advt number 50 English paper. I am Dr. Rajneesh Mishra and I will take you through this paper. This was actually my paper. I attempted it, and you may know, if you do know about me, that I got 13th rank in this one, and in 46 the 18th rank. And I'm here to help you secure a rank at least better than mine, because I'm with you, totally supporting you. Let's see what can be done. The analysis is aimed at trying to understand the pattern and also, if possible, combining this with syllabus analysis and previous paper analysis, at trying to understand the mind of the paper setters or cracking the code. So here it begins. The first question, as you see, is from Cry the Peacock. It's a question that will need a detailed understanding. Maya in Cry the Peacock is obsessed with the astrological prediction that her marriage will end in death in the 4th year. Then again, the next one is from a novel. Who is the presiding goddess of the village of Kanthapura in Raja Rao's novel of the same name, which is Kenchamma? Where did Raju in R.K. Narayan's The Guide go right after getting out of jail? To the barber. Which of the following is not a statement from Macaulay's Minutes on Education? And the one that is not there is, it would be good enough to consult the natives' intellectual taste at the expense of their intellectual health. The persona in Sarojini Naidu's The Flute Player of Vrindavan compares himself or herself with, and the answer is homeless bird. Now, as you can see, as far as the novel questions are concerned, you need to have a detailed summary of the novel, the first three. The prose question, again, a point-wise summary if possible, and also I'd recommend, as far as the prose pieces are concerned, first-hand reading of the same. Now, when we have come to the poem here, this will need a deep, detailed summary, and of course, as we'll see later, you'll have to remember some lines, at least from shorter poems, a lot of lines, from longer poems, highlighted lines, important lines as they call it. This question from Chicago lecture, again, a detailed summary will answer it. I've underlined the answers, the approved answers by UPHSC, and when the approved answer and the generally agreed upon answers are different, I will mention that. A couple of questions were cancelled, I will mention that too. So instead of now going into the detail of the answers which I've underlined, I am, as the title proclaims, I am going to analyze question by question. So question 36, you need to make a detailed summary, point-wise note of the prose piece. And because only a few pages, therefore you should read it too. Is India civilized? Contextual information, here it is. That is how it came into being. I'm highlighting the points, so that you remember. This one is a linguistic term, a very basic linguistic term from syntax prescriptivism as against descriptivism. So if you know a little bit about the basics, you will get the answer correct. This is one of the easier questions. This and the next question, these two of the Russ theory, these two questions, well, the second one at least, are not mainstream questions. The first one comes from the Rasa Sutra, therefore it's a basic question. The second one, yeah, many of us found it difficult because the direct answer is nowhere and we did not have knowledge of the Sanskrit sutras. Therefore, yeah, the second one will need wider note making than just shallow point noting down. F.R. Leavis' Criticism and Philosophy, again, detailed point-wise notes. Key writing. Now you either know this answer or you do not know this answer, because theory questions generally they don't ask questions from deep into the text, because in theory there are no prescribed texts. So This one is from contextual background kind of information, shallow surface level information about the reader. In fact, this very thing, the term arcade writing and Derrida's association, you can find very easily on Wikipedia. 43, very definition of new criticism is the autotelic nature of the text. So if you have even made complete and even shallow notes, it will cover it. This one, yeah, Frederick Jameson in postmodern culture, generally not commonly prescribed in MA syllabi. So if you have covered the key thinkers, theorists, and their key ideas and texts, I repeat, key thinkers, their key ideas and their key texts, and if possible, years related to the text and the thinkers. That is, a very good tip for theory papers. Again, strategic essentialism comes under key idea of a key thinker. Lines of poems, as I told you, shorter poems, try and learn lines. And of course, you must totally understand the explanation part of it and the critical analysis part of it. So this is a very basic question. If you have, you have been acquainted with the poems, then you will easily find the answer. Not a predecessor of William Shakespeare. Of course, the answer was Ben Jonson. First Book of Common Prayer, factual information, exact. This will be covered. These two questions are from Unit 1, History of English Literature. There is an overlap of the second question with contextual information of William Shakespeare, that is a drama. Again, Unit 1 question, History of Language and History of England. 50 is poem in the syllabus, and they have given the line, and it is interpretation based. This one was very dangerous question. Who remembers how many times a word comes in a poem? This totally presumes that somehow you have learned the poem by heart. So if you have, lucky you, you'll get the answer right. This one again from criticism and kind of, yeah, criticism and history. So if you get this right, that is because you have some general idea of the historical development of literature and criticism. This one again, history of English literature from ages. This one is New English literature, a very basic question about the parts of a play and theme of a novel, New English literature. Again, a basic question. If you're making even surface level, shallow kind of notes about contextual information and summary and all, definitely your note will contain everything. Of this type, it doesn't need deep analysis. Peter Porter's poem, also a very obvious kind of question, and the answer is obvious too. This question was cancelled. Charistian, the word Charistian was problematic. Therefore, this question was cancelled. Campus novel, basic term. So either we are looking at coverage of M.H. Abrams, or we are talking about the history of novel or history of English literature. Again, novels of manner, either you are coming from the side of novels or you are coming from the side of history of novels, that is history of English literature. Surfacing is directly from notes. In fact, this very line is inside IGNU unit on Atwood's surfacing, Canadian literature, New English literature, that is. This one is either background of drama or M.H. Abrams, our old friend, or history of drama, or as you call it, history of English literature. Indian Queen is either from contextual information on John Dryden, who has been prescribed in drama section, or it is from history of English literature itself. It can be, approached both ways. This is directly a very central prescribed text in criticism paper. Every Man is Humor, again a prescribed text, and if you have just noted down important characters and plot summary, you'll get the answer to this. Also add a few quotations, important quotations and contextual information, and you have your notes complete. This one was cancelled again, although the answer could be related with the publication of Macbeth and publishing of James One's own book on witchcraft and so on and so forth. But still, it was found objectionable and it was cancelled. Waiting for Godot, a basic question. Who are waiting for Godot? So if you have a surface level notes on characters and plot summary kind of, you will get this answer. 12th night, again, the very title. If you have what 12th night means, then you will get the answer to the feast of Epiphany. Mirabelle, the right description, if you have written about characters and if you have written about highlights of the specific play, it's a very direct question. Again, not a very difficult question. Dr. Foster's actually does mention Icarus in prologue. So if you have made a proper summary of the plot and you have also noted down a couple of important lines, you have this answer. Murder in the Cathedral, contextual information, record of Edward Brim. This one, yeah, this one was deeper. Neither contextual information nor character or plot summary, nothing will get you this answer until, of course, you have prepared detailed notes with uh, quotations highlighted. This is a very important quotation coming from Bosola at an important juncture. So if you covered the Duchess of Malfi with quotations, only then, or you'll have to guess. This one is again very easily approachable through um, a very good detailed plot summary. This one was tricky actually because everybody knows the answer to this question. Had there been plot in place of fable, that is mythos, then everybody would have answered imitation. But then in a couple of translations, instead of the word plot, the word fable has been used, and therefore it confused people who had read S.H. Butcher or other translations that have only plot and no mention of the word fable in them. But it was, I mean, a silly confusion. The answer was direct. St. John, contextual information. Culture and anarchy, very shallow kind of, even basic classification, or even if you have not made any notes on culture and anarchy, everybody knows about barbarians and Philistines. This one requires very basic knowledge of transcription. So if you could make it sum, you could count 3 and the answer is 3. My place, New English Literature. This one, again, if you have plot summary and contextual information kind of thing, you will answer. Basic branches of linguistics, basic notes on linguistics will do this. This is an easy question on linguistics. This one again, Saussure, a very fundamental question, not very difficult. This one was tricky. It required you to keep in mind the whole structure of the poem, then structure of individual stanzas, what the stanzas are all about, and all in all, generally you may say that it required you to have a good understanding and memory of the poem and recall also at the same time. So I found this question really very tough. This question was tough for me. Got it wrong too. This one was one of the easiest question, M.H. Abrams kind of question. Milton in Paradise Lost, very invocation. This cannot be made wrong. It's not possible because invocation is the one part that everybody does. So very obvious question. Few features, speeches of Satan and invocation. If you cover them, the ream one is yeah, this was not obviously in any of the units per se, but then the question came and guesswork some kind of was done and so on and so forth, but all in all I got this wrong and I was clueless, let me confess, although I had prepared the linguistics. But this ream thing, I had no idea of. And you know, every UPHESC paper, one or two questions of linguistics are of the kind. This one again was totally dependent upon as they have written transcription. So if you have practiced transcription throughout until the day of examination, because I totally suspect that they're going to ask such questions in 51 also, you will get this answer correct. The ESP thing, this is coming directly from Wikipedia introduction. I repeat, directly from Wikipedia introduction. No need to go very deep. But if you do go very deep, you will find this fundamental kind of theory of ESP everywhere. Delta events is very common. But let me tell you, this is coming directly from Wikipedia. And the next one is from morphology, or if your pronunciation is good or transcription is good, then from that way also you can do it. If you have made proper notes on morphology, this is topic wise stress pattern, you can very easily cover it. 1798 History of English Literature and William Wordsworth or Samuel David Coleridge's Contextual Information. Text of pleasure and text of bliss, this is not the first time this question is being asked, it's the second time that I've seen this question. It's a very obvious question and repeated. Maybe the next time they'll ask about the text in which text of pleasure and text of bliss, or the year in which the text was published kind of question. Success is counted sweetest. And previous time they had asked about uh, another poem of Emily Dickinson's. How many times has she lost something? So they go into the poems of Emily Dickinson inside, and they ask questions from within. So it takes deep understanding of the poem, if possible. You know, more or less learning the poem. Short poems they are. And in contrast, Whitman's poems are long poems, so the questions are easy questions, not very deep questions. They're only asking about symbols. Scarlet Letter, somehow they love quotations from Scarlet Letter. This is the second quotation I've seen coming from the Scarlet Letter. So I think that covering important quotations along with contextual and plot information, character information from Scarlet Letter, because they also had asked about the symbolism in characters or something like that in previous examination. Contextual information, Santiago's model. The Wasteland, very basic understanding of the poem will do it. Contextual information on the Canterbury Tales, the number of pilgrims and the number of stories multiplied together will give you total number of stories, but this is even easier, only how many stories per pilgrim. Far from the madding crowd, source of the title of the novel. This is not in our syllabus. Hardy's test is in our syllabus. Therefore, this is not coming from syllabus of novel. This is coming from Thomas Gray's Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard, which is a very famous poem. So either it's coming from HEL or from syllabus of poetry. Glass Menagerie, contextual information, direct answer. Not correct with reference to Gandhi's in Swaraj, only if you have done deep analysis and broad, complete point by point note making on in Swaraj, only then you can answer this, otherwise you'll miss the answer. Raja Rao's question, a very popular one, directly from the preface, everybody knows this. True poetry according to Sri Aurobindo, contextual information in future of poetry. That long silence, again, a very shallow level contextual information, sorry, plot information it is. Now, my friends, this is from V, a gift to you for English literature paper of UPHESC at 2051. We have a dedicated YouTube channel, a dedicated blog, and a Facebook group. On the channel, you will find analysis of papers, analysis of strategy. There have been webinars on that, live webinars that were recorded and then uploaded. We runs course batches. We have been running batches since the end of July. We runs mock test series. In fact, the series is going to begin in the beginning of October 1st. There are quizzes that you may have seen here on channel. There are worksheets again you may have seen and attempted on the channel. There are tutorials on this channel, and there are lecture videos also in this channel. You may care to browse through the videos. If you wish, you will see many things that are useful for you and that will help you. You know. And then, of course, for the people who have joined the batches or the people who are in the test series or something, they are invited to WhatsApp support groups and provided all the support and material also over there, and of course, strategic information. So that is all for today. Thank you very much. It is